Today I'm going to showcase the steps that I used to fabricate the fiberglass subwoofer box for my 77 280Z. So in 1977 and 78 for the 280Z, Datsun created a raised flat platform and switched to a space saver spare in order to enlarge the gas tank capacity. Overall, this reduced the height of the rear hatch by about 3 or 4 inches, so there's really not a lot of space over here in the side. I could pull out this hardboard deck, but it's in such nice shape and I'd have to get rid of my spare tire in order to get a flat surface to work off of. So I'm going to utilize every cubic inch available in this small cavity while preserving the most amount of space in the main hatch area. I take some measurements, and depending on the depth, I think I can fit up to a 10-inch subwoofer in this area. I must have lost the very first photo in this sequence, but I cover the hardboard deck and the plastic fender liner in layers of tape and plastic sheeting. Then I mix up some fiberglass resin and embed some mesh fiberglass strips into the plastic and tape to contour it to the sides of the fender liner and the lower deck. I embed some small mixing sticks and other pieces of wood to add some rigidity to the form. This photo is about 4 to 6 layers of fiberglass. I remove the plastic liner from the fender well and see how well the form slides in and out. Once the carpet is back and the box is upholstered in vinyl, it should create a very snug fit. Here I've removed the excess tape and trimmed flat all of the fiberglass. I temporarily tape a piece of insulation foam to the box to check the flatness. This will also serve as a template for the MDF wood I will use for the front face of the box. I transfer the measurements of the box to the MDF, locate the deepest area for the subwoofer to sit, then drill a pilot hole. I test fit the subwoofer with the added depth of the MDF. This should give me enough clearance for the sub, I think. I ordered a new JL subwoofer that hasn't come in yet. According to the spec sheet, this old sub should be good enough to test all of the fitment. I use some caulking to hold the box to the face while I ready up another batch of epoxy. I temporarily reinstall the unit in place just to make sure the sub will clear the hatch lift shock. This is my worrying spot. I wrap the box in more fiberglass mat and a little carbon fiber because I ran out of fiberglass. On the older 240Zs, they used a quilted diamond pattern on many of the interior parts. I've been replicating the look of that through my car over the last few months. I've already upholstered my transmission tunnel in it, like the 240s, and I have a whole roll of this stuff, so I might as well use it to class up the interior. Spray contact cement on the box and the fabric. Then stretch the fabric around the box. Before gluing it, I sewed the corners to fit a little bit snugger to the box so I'd have less overlap to deal with. I cut the opening and mount the temporary speaker. Then I drill out and install a speaker binding post. I make another test fit to make sure that the vinyl hasn't added too much padding around the box, and most important, I can still access my spare compartment without removing the speaker. In this shot, the speaker isn't even pushed back to the fender all the way. Once I install the carpet, it's so snug I don't even bother screwing it to anything. The friction alone keeps it in place. So far, no corner or vibration has dislodged it. A few days later, I got the JL sub in, so now we're going to install it. The depth of the new sub is spot on, but the front face sticks out about a ½ an inch too far now. And the rear hatch strut now hits it. So we're going to do some dodgy surgery. To get this strut off, we're going to use a 10mm socket back here. Just take all the pressure off of the lid. The issue here is that this stud is not going to be long enough to add a spacer to. So I'm going to see if I can press this out, maybe get a longer bolt on that. So what I might be able to do is reuse this little guy. It's a threaded standoff. I don't remember what this was even for, but it's probably got my necessary depth there.
And what I can do is cut off this end and make the hole go all the way through. And by doing that, I can screw this side into the strut housing and then put an extension bolt out the other side to attach to the actual bracketry. And that should just shift over the strut the amount that I need it to. So we're going to switch over to the sanding head. Alright, let's see if this clears the speaker now with that spacer. Almost clears perfect. There's still just a little bit of rubbing right here. So I'm going to extend the spacer just a little bit by putting another little washer, a couple washers inside of that.
So here we are, one final test fit. Let's see if the hatch closes.